So we start off with the Santa Cruz Library's Facilities Financing Authority board meeting this morning. We have a roll call.
Jamie Goldstein, City of Capitola.
Here.
Carlos Palacios, County.
Here.
Martin Bernal, City of Santa Cruz.
Here.
Jenny Haruyama, City of Scotts Valley.
Yeah, thank you. Additional materials, I don't believe there are any.
There are none.
Okay. Item 3 is additions and deletions to the agenda. I don't believe there are any. Oral communications. This is a portion of the meeting where members of the public can address the board on items that are not on the agenda but are within the subject matter of the library board. Is there anybody in the public that'd like to address the board this morning? No? Okay. Next is the executive director report. And there's
I have no additional.
information. Any questions from members? Anybody in public would like to address item 5? Thank you. Next is project updates and comments by board members. This is the time on the agenda where if the board members want to talk about their library projects, they can provide updates. Anybody like to provide an update?
In Capitola, we're working drawings right now in the new library. We expect to be wrapping that up here in the next several months and then bring the project back for final approvals with the city, and we just have to cobble together the last about $1.5 million for the project. And we're ready to go out to bid.
We're scheduled to close on May 1st.
Fine. It's not too far.
No. We're excited. The
Yep.
project's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, it's going to be a wonderful project.
Anything else? I guess maybe the only thing I can report out is I think since last time, you may recall that the City Council established a Downtown Library Advisory Committee to look at the options for the downtown branch. And the committee completed their sort of final recommendation, although they're still working on their final report. And so they looked at the various options. They looked at one option was to remodel the existing branch within the existing $23 million budget. That was one that they developed after community feedback. They looked at just remodeling the branch, this building, to what was needed in terms of the programming that they developed and the needs of the system. That one was, I think, came in at
38
million.
to remodel this one.
And yes, and then they looked at tearing this building down and building a new one, and that came in like at 39. So,
In the 40s.
Yeah. And then they looked at the mixed-use project, which is combining it with the parking garage, office, and then possibly housing mixed-use project. And that one was more affordable at like $27 million. So they were very deliberate in their process and obtained a lot of public input and went through, looked at different branches or different libraries, and ultimately they unanimously recommend that the mixed-use project is the way to proceed. So they're preparing the final report, and that'll go to the City Council along with the other aspects of the project, which includes the farmers market and the downtown parking rates and fee structures. So that's that. Anything else, Susan? Any other branch?
They all move forward. They're all moving forward. The county's made some progress on La Selva Beach in particular, and working on Boulder Creek. We had open house for architects to look at the live volcanics. I do want to say that we continually are awed at the cost of construction, and it is greatly limiting our ability to meet our programmatic goals on every single project.
Yeah. It's pretty astounding how expensive it is. And it's not getting cheaper. Okay, yes. So now, is there any member of the public that would like to comment on this item? Yes, Ms. Judy, come on.
Good morning. Yeah, I'd have to comment on Mr. Bernal's summation of what went on with the Downtown Library Advisory Commission. committee because it wasn't a satisfactory process at all. There, in the RFQ, there was supposed to be a minimum of 3 public meetings where the public could engage in dialogue with the architects or, someone in authority to know about the project. So this 10-member appointed committee, someone along the line opted to hand that public outreach to this committee rather than have the architects handle it, which was what was called for in the RFQ. So those public meetings were totally bypassed, which is very sad because Nolan Tan conducted this process in Half Moon Bay with their new library, with doing it the right way, with 5 large facilitated public meetings. So we didn't have that here. We had one meeting 10 days before the committee was due to make their recommendations. And it wasn't a facilitated meeting, it wasn't recorded, and yet, maybe about 70 to 90 people showed up, but the overwhelming preference was to renovate, the renovation option, not to move the library to a garage. So, and yet the DLAC ignored, that. So it's been a very unsatisfactory process.
Thank you. Anybody else in the public like to comment? All right, with that, we'll move on to the consent calendar. Questions on any of that? Is there a motion?
I guess I would move consent, but I also do have just one minor question
Yes.
about the sales tax item and,
Yes.
and why that's here.
Oh, it should be on the other one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I mean, there's no action required associated with it, but it's just sort of the report, to help the audience, it's the report of the sales tax revenue that the LFA, which
It
is
should be
Oh,
on the JDA.
another
Right,
JDA
right,
receives.
Right.
And I would assume that we discussed that under the mid-year budget update.
Right, this is just the standard, right?
Yeah.
Update. Okay, yes.
Sorry.
All right.
So noting that, since there's no action on it, I don't think it really changes anything, I'd still move consent.
Okay.
Second.
All right, actually, before, is there anybody from the public who'd like to comment on anything on consent before we take action? No? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, passes unanimously. Next is item 8, which is general business, which is the annual election of the board and board vice chair. And on pages 13 is the rotation schedule that we have followed and discussed following, which would have Scotts Valley, Jenny chair, and Carlos, the town of Santa Cruz vice chair for the coming year.
Carlos looks excited.
I would move.
Yeah, there's nothing better than being vice chair.
Until you're chair. Someone said my condolences to me.
I would move board member Hariana as our chair for this year and board member Palacios as the vice chair.
Second that. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, that passes unanimously. Do we move over right now or? There you go.
Oh, gosh. The hour is overwhelming. All right. Anyone would like to make comments on the recent appointment? Going once, twice? All right. Moving on to number 9, scheduled upcoming meetings. March 1st, 6 p.m. is our next meeting at the Aptos Branch Library. And with that, we are adjourned.